In hindsight, I wish I wouldn't have said that. I was upset. But we talked it through afterwards, and I'm really proud of the move that she made. The character that I believed at the time that she had shown was that she would put up someone that really had her back this entire game. And I don't mean just in a gameplay standpoint. I mean that I truly looked after her and was really there for her in really rough moments that she had with her own alliance members, to include Izzy and Felicia, and the way that they treated her sometimes. I took her at every point of the game with me. I never left her behind. I gave her trust, and I told her every move that I was making. Even the times when I was leaving her out of the moves that I was making, there was a reason, and I told her, and she understood it. So whenever she put me up, what she showed the house was that she'll put up anyone. She'll do anything as long as it's going to get her another week or another favorability with another house guest or whatever. So I know that the words were taken harshly by her, and I apologized to her for that. What I meant was she'll do whatever it takes, and I think that she showed everyone that. I think that at a certain point, everyone was just ready for me to go. It was agreed upon by both sides of the house, however many sides of the house you want to paint that there were. I believe that at a certain point, everyone goes, all right, he's had his run, he's had his fun. Let's get this dude out of here and see if we can actually play some game without him in here. So as much as I wanted to make a run, I tried at multiple angles, and nothing stuck, which basically told me end of the road. If I remember specifically the times that I was targeting Sari, it wasn't that I was targeting her. If I wanted to target her, I would have put her on the blocker early on. What I did want to do was target the entire alliance as a whole. She was the head of what I considered a core group, and I wanted to dismantle it. I wanted to take apart all the pieces of it. You can't just cut the head off the snake, So I had to take pieces of it apart. So she might have been my focus, but she wasn't my target. She was just the leader of the group that I knew needed to be taken down. And I had to start with Izzy. And eventually Jared got taken there, and I knew that Felicia needed to go. And that was my target for my third HOH reign. Didn't work out. They took down Mimi instead. I wanted Mimi to stay around a little while, but I didn't have an opportunity to vote that week, so that's how it went down. And I knew this Sari eventually was going to be the last one. And I actually, at a certain point, she turned into even more of a friend than I had remembered her being for me, and being a mentor. So my focus shifted from wanting to target her and get her out and do really bad things to there's an opportunity to work with Sari. Jared turned out to be one of my really good friends in the house. And that was the only request that he made of me on his departure, being who I am. And I said, I'm going to do something. I was going to do it. So leaving the house, the last piece of advice or any kind of thing that I could give her, that was the least that I could do to honor my buddy Jared, and to give back to Sari, who had given me so many kind words of mentorship and advice as well. Oh, my biggest mistake in the game wasn't a particular move or a shift. It was exactly what I've talked about when Sari gave me my biggest piece of advice, which was you don't have to tell people what you think about other people. So my biggest flaw in the game was the fact that I spoke too freely on occasion with specific people, with the understanding that certain words weren't going to go beyond our conversation. It wasn't that they turned around and told someone else immediately. It was just that their view of me changed once I spoke on a particular topic. And once you speak on that and someone's perception of you changes, you can't put that back in the bottle. So that was my biggest flaw, was just speaking too freely. If I had that to do all over again, if I get an opportunity to run this thing back and go play All-Stars, that will be the biggest part of my game that I'll change up. Oh, the second time getting evicted was absolutely the worst, because I knew it was final. First time going out, granted, I didn't have the transmission decoded by that time, but the fact that I had not had it decoded meant that something was waiting on me outside of the house. So I knew that whenever I got evicted the first time, I was probably going to have an opportunity to come back in as a battle back or anything like that. So I was a little bit more calm leaving the house the first time. The second time, I was like, this is it. But at least I'm going to jury. I made it to that point, and I was proud of the benchmark that I made, and proud of the mark that I believe I made on the game and the impression that I hopefully had with the fans.